We just chant a few verses from the Bhagwat Gita. And you might say this is the essence of the Hindu Bible, of course. Again, the books are not the authorities. In Hinduism, it is you and me, test the truths of Hinduism. We are the authorities. Our experiences, the truth. And so we pray and we ask Lord Krishna to inspire our minds to greater heights of following this pathway of truth. And again, O Lord, may you lead us from the untruth to the truth. Lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of wisdom. And teach us physically that belong to this world, but immortality to the soul. Asatoma Sadagamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. And we chant a few verses from Bhagwat Gita. And in the Bhagwat Gita, for me, it is, again, lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of wisdom to expand the mind, consciousness. Because at the beginning, we have a character of a king who could not see. Dhritarashtra, he was blind. And he was asking Sanjaya, a man who could see, and especially in the distance, he had that kind of vision. And so it is to lead us from the darkness at pathway of light. And then in the larger scale, we have Arjuna in the battlefield. Is this on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We have Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And when he asked Lord Krishna to drive the chariot to the midst of the battlefield, he saw his cousin Drishme Swajanam Krishna Yuyutsam Samupastitam Sidanti Mamagatrani Mukhamcha Parisushyati. And he saw his relatives there, and he saw uncle, grandfather, cousins. And he became very, very depressed and despondent and said, Lord, how can I? Because my body is shaking and all I hear, my hands are standing up. How can I kill these wonderful men then? I would rather give up the 3 kingdoms and become a beggar and go from door to door and beg rather than killing these men. And so he became depressed, you might say. Internally, his mind was clouded by darkness. And Lord Krishna had to take him, from that and gradually explain to him. And, like when you go to school, you learn your ABC, and then you learn to spell, and then you learn to write sentences, and you learn to write, paragraphs and essays and whatnot. Until you can even write a book. In the same way, Lord Krishna took him from step to step until he built, one step to the next step. And eventually, when Arjuna was ready, he says, Arjuna, you cannot see me with these physical eyes. I have to bless you with what we call the Trivya Dishti, the inner eye, before you can see my Viratsu. But this will be your graduation present. And so, when Arjuna saw Krishna, he saw him like millions of suns put together. Brilliant, so brilliant. And he saw him as Lord of life, death, and so on and so forth. And when he saw that, he was so shocked, he couldn't understand fully. But Lord Krishna had to reinforce what he saw. When he came back, you might say, to the physical level. And he was able to understand more and more about, life itself. And then Lord Krishna reinforced some of the learning. So we'll chant a few verses. And we'll ask a few others, please, if you have to, say a few words. We want you to keep it short because of time and so on and so forth. But we'll ask of you, each one, whoever wants to give a few words, right? Okay. Dharma kshetre guru kshetre samaveta yayutsavaha mamaka pandavasaiva kima kurvat sanjaya kutastva kashmalam nidam vishyame samupastitam anarya jushtamasvargamya akirtim karma arjuna klaivyam smagama patha naitatvayu papajyate khudrang hirdaya dalbalyam tvayaktishta parantapa guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan Trayoya bhuktam bhiksham apiha loke Hatvartakaamastu kuroni haiva bhunjiyam bhogarojira pradigdham. Om nainam chindanti sasrani nainam dehati pavaka na chainam kledayam tyapo na sushati marutam na jayate mriyate va kadachit nayanya bhutva bhavita vana bhuya ajoya nitya sashatoyam purana nahanyate hanyamani sharire. And there is Lord Krishna talking about the soul. To come to the realization that we are divine, that the body is going to die. That the body you can cut it with a weapon, you can burn it in the fire, you can drive by the wind, you can drop it in the water, but the soul cannot be done. Any of those things can be done to the soul because the soul is immortal. It doesn't born, it comes into human being, but it doesn't born, it's not born, and therefore it cannot die. But the body physically coming to this world, you say there's birth, and then the law of life, there is death. Can't escape that. And so, Lord Krishna, when he says, Abhayam satya sanshadhir jnana yogya vyavastita dhanandamascha yagyascha swadhayastapa arajavam. So then how do we face life while living on this earth? And he says to be what? Fearless, without fear. Do the right thing in life. But when we do the wrong thing sometimes, we feel guilty, and so we have fear. And fear is like being trapped in a prison. So we have to break through that prison, of fear, and overcome those, and open up, and be fearless in life. And then Satya means truth. We must always stand for the truth, live the life of truth, and always let it be measure of our lives. Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga means to take a good look within ourselves and ask ourselves, who are we? And again, what are we doing on this earth here? What is the purpose of my life? What is it that I will do? What gifts have I come with, into this world? And if I follow through with those, will I have this full flowering of my life? I'll have, a fulfilled life in the end. And I can say that I have lived a wonderful life. And in the meantime, while living on this earth, give down gifts of what? Compassion, sweet words to others. Be compassionate. And when Lord Krishna was in the forest of Vrindavan, he was playing the basuri. The gopis, they would hold hands together and they circle him. And they go around, they're dancing, Rasa Rachai. Why? He's telling us, this is how we must live. Hold each other hands as one, common humanity. And go in the circle in this life, go around the circle or the cycle of life itself, with God at the center of our lives. You see, where was he born? Prison. In a prison, jail. Right? But then, when he was about to leave, what happened? The locks broke. The doors flew open. The father took him in a little basket across the Jamuna River into freedom. And what is that saying unto us? That sometimes, as we grow, you have people telling us, you must not do this, you shouldn't do this. And what happens is barriers are set in our lives. And we believe that sometimes when we attempt to do something, we say, oh God, I'm afraid, man, because, I feel so bad about myself. I don't think I can do it. And he's telling us, no, there is freedom. You can break through any barrier. Because with the soul, there is no, you might say, prison. The soul is free. And so you can be free by thinking and envisioning that freedom. And so he wants us to be free from all of these petty little things in our minds so that we can expand our mind, our consciousness, and become the best we can be in life. Prem Sabalo Sri Krishna Chandra Bhagwan Ki Jai. And I have my nephew here, Andrew Thakur, special request from Philip here for you to say a few words. Andrew. Fortunately, he's my nephew.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
That's why I say fortunately. We still have RT in here. I want an RT.
Then you won't join me in this.
Tumeva mata, tumeva bandhu, sasaka tumeva विद्या त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव. Mamuji, or Panditji, Shruta, elders, I'm very old now, so I don't know how many people here are older than me. Devotees and well-wishers.
I think it was
In 1976,
when I came into
to contact with a member of this family.
Yes.
What is enough?
It's breaking up. And we've been friends since 1976. I have a big mouth, I can speak. We've been friends since then. And as we go through life, we learn from each other. There's an interesting saying that the more you know, the more you know, you do not know. If we listen, we keep our eyes open and we keep our ears open. We learn every day. There's something, no matter how much you know, we're still ready to learn. We are here today, as the Western people would say, to celebrate the life of a departed soul. My Nana used to say, Ab Atma Tab Paramatma. And what we seek in Hinduism is when our soul becomes in contact with that super soul, then we enjoy eternal bliss. In my travels and research, I paid particular attention throughout the world, places I've gone, how people treat the dead and how they treat life hereafter. And it is amazing. It is simply amazing to find out, or when you discover how much other cultures and other civilizations we have in common, or they have in common with us. Some people, or some cultures, you find people treat their dead in a very, what you and I would consider very ridiculous manner. For example, among one group of people living in India, they're called the Zoroastrians. We know them as the Parsis. They do not bury their dead. They do not burn their dead. I'm going to leave that for you to find out what they do with their dead. But this happens in India. And many people are appalled. But that is their belief. If you go to places in the Pacific, you'll find that people behave almost the same as we Hindus do in terms of life hereafter. And the celebratory activities that are taking place not only a year, but 25 years later. In Nigeria, in two separate cultures in Nigeria, I have students from both groups. And they were told 25 years after the father died in the war, it's called the War of the Igbos. When the father died, I said, when are you going to celebrate the last rites? When we can afford it. 35 years later, they celebrate the last life death of the father. Among the Yorubas in Nigeria, when the father got very, very ill, this is a very extremely rich family, when the father got very rich, got very, very sick and was dying, they put the old man in a home right beside, they built a hut and they put him there. When he died, 6 hours later, he was buried right there. And for a month thereafter, there was celebration going on. So we do find that in different cultures, we have this. Yet at the same time, we find Hinduism, and particularly the Sanatanis, subjected to tremendous criticism, what we do and how we do. Because some people believe that when bodies die, we call them the materialists. When the person dies, you bury them or you burn them, and that's the end. there's no life hereafter. If there's no life hereafter, why do we keep doing good deeds? Why do we keep performing pujas? Why do we keep performing, the Western world call it, we perform rituals. Why do we perform these rituals? Is it simply to invite friends and to have a good time? Or is it in preparation for the next life into which we are hoping to enter, where we enjoy that eternal bliss? We believe in reincarnation. We believe that there is life hereafter. If there is life hereafter, then it is our duty, not only to us, but to the next generation. We see children singing. We prepare them as to become adults. And as we prepare them to become adults, we prepare them to take our places. And this is why the role of the mother is very important. Because we have to understand the process of production and reproduction before we can understand the true role of the mother, and not only in our society but throughout the world. And yet at the same time, so much of this is misunderstood and misinterpreted. Panditji, I don't want to go on too long, but I just want to come back for 2 words about the family. When we find a family behaving in such spiritual and such auspicious manner, paying tribute to the departed soul, we hope that wherever that soul is, would receive whatever is being offered to him, and in this place particularly to her. With that, I would like to say thank you to each and every one of you, and may God bless each one of us.
Sri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki Jai. Artist, please come forward and say a few words.
Hello. My name is Ernest Prasad. I'm Antri Lauti's son-in-law from Toronto, Canada. I'm married to Savitri, her daughter. I'm very honored to have the opportunity to contribute to the celebration of her life. This is a lady who I've known for over 50 years. She was not only like a mother-in-law, but like a mother. She was the epitome of love, kindness, and respect. She loved all her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren unconditionally. In return, she was also loved by everyone who came into contact with her, whether it's in England, Guyana, or the United States. She was ahead of her time. She was a thinker, she was a trailblazer, and she was one of the smartest women for her age that I've ever met. Many times my wife would say to me, I wish I will have her brains when she gets to that age. She never forgets anything. When we used to go to England, she used to be like our GPS in those days, even before GPS came on the scene. Same thing in Florida. When we visited Florida, she would give me direction on how to drive in Florida, and if I'm 10 minutes late, she will get concerned that I got lost. In the last couple of years or so, she endured a series of serious illnesses. And unfortunately, we lost her over a year ago. She will always be remembered by all of us, and God bless her soul. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. Very good. Who's the next? Frank?